I'm here at the M.N. Krishna Rao Park on the 21st of May 2017. I mean, why I'm making this video, put a post on Facebook about the desperate job situation in this country. I was very disturbed at a photo caption which said intense competition. The photo was mass of people turning up at the Calcutta railway station to appear for an interview or apply for a D category job. That means a peon or a office boy job in the West Bengal government. The West Bengal government has advertised for D category jobs of 6,000 D category jobs. And this Saturday, that's yesterday, more than 2.5 million people applied to that job. And people are streaming into Calcutta. And that particular photograph, which is already there on my timeline in Facebook, one can see what is so unique about that. There are many things that I can comment on. One is that how the media, instead of taking on the establishment, be it Mamata Banerjee of the TMC in Calcutta or the Modi regime at the center, their very mischievous way of projecting things or giving it a twist, they have put blame on the youth of this country, and by naming it as intense competition. Of course, if one looks at in a very liberal manner, in a nothing wrong with that manner, then it is okay. It's just a caption which is not so harmful. But in a country where the question of jobs is almost human eat human, like dog eat dog situation, one can see that for just 6,000 jobs in Calcutta in West Bengal government, which would fetch a starting wage of somewhere around 8 to 10,000 or 12,000 at the maximum. You have 2.5 million people applying for that. And disturbing situation as far as the youth of this country are concerned, and working class, working people in general are concerned. Be it Modi or Mamata Banerjee or the erstwhile government of UPA, now led by Rahul Gandhi, or Siddaramaiah in Karnataka, or the mishmash government in Tamil Nadu, or anywhere else, every single political entity playing the role of power politics in this country have made it main point of their promise is the question of jobs. Modi, in his 2014 elections, where he got around 31% of votes, he promised that he would provide at least 2 million jobs every year. Likewise, every political party, be it the BJD of Naveen Patnaik or the Congress, the government in Karnataka and in some other states, and the TMC in West Bengal, or for that matter, the Tamil Nadu government, erstwhile it was the government of Jayalalitha, now we do not know who is in power. But anyway, it's hanging in the balance. Every single party, and we cannot exclude the promise that has been made by the Pinarayi Vijayan's government in Kerala. Every single government in the country has promised jobs to the tune of tens of lakhs, that is millions of jobs. But even if you just commute or compute all those figures, I think within a span of 5 to 10 years, if all the promised jobs come by, I think this country should have at least full employment. But 70 years now since goddamn independence, never was a situation when the country has had, let alone full employment, even 50% of the unemployed have been employed in this country. I mean, that doesn't mean that people are not working, people are lazy, people are just living off their parents' wages or state's handouts. Nothing. This country doesn't have, or even if he has in some states where there are certain progressive measures in relation to the unemployment benefit, but that's pittance. And we can also comment upon these food for work schemes, which is neither there nor here, not even sustenance, but they are given 100 days of work in a year of 365 days. So you get something to fall back upon, apart from the subsidized food, which is given to a very small minority in the country. But then what is happening in this country? Where I mean, be it the UPA of Manmohan Singh, the first one, the second one, the Naveen Patnaik, Jayalalitha, the various left governments in West Bengal when they were there, and also in Tripura and Kerala. In every state governed by different parties, everybody claim or boast about that their state or the country in general is on a fast-track development, touching somewhere near 7 to 8%. I mean, and now they have scaled down their growth rate to somewhere around 7%. But then what is this growth? Where are the jobs? Has this growth been converted into the actual jobs in this country? Where is the growth going? Where is the growth visible? Has the poverty in this country has come down? Has the calorie intake in this country has increased? Has the standard of basic education has increased? Has the women feel safe in this country? As the discrimination towards the LGBTQ has come down, at least if not eradicated, as the atrocities on the Dalit brothers and sisters is on decline, not a single question can have a positive answer in this country. And yet we call it a democracy. I was intrigued by that particular caption, that intense competition, as if it is the problem of the people who are looking for jobs. Mind you, and that is the question that in this country we have to be asking, the youth has to have to be asking, that where are the promises redeemed? When all these fundamental questions which the ruling class of this country, or any country for that matter, have taken on themselves to solve the issues, have utterly failed. In a country, in a so-called third world country, or a developing country like India, we have a situation that none of the fundamental questions of the society, let alone be solved, even touched upon, and yet the ruling parties, the establishment, the Congress, the BJP, and all other, irrespective of the color that they claim themselves to be their color, they say that we are a democracy. We are a government of the people, by the people, for the people. It's a humbug. It's a democracy of the humbug. I mean, this is the question that unless and until the fundamental questions of the population, such as poverty, degradation, landlessness, untouchability, discrimination, oppression of women, oppression of the sexuality minorities, and above all, the question of unemployment. Unless and until these things are touched upon and progressively solved, the ruling class has no business to stay in power. But when we say these things, I mean, when socialists are accused that, you see, you are all the socialists, the Marxists, the genuine Marxists, you are all people who are just dreamers. You cannot solve the problem. You don't have solutions to the problem. That's not true. That's not true. The question is, we have a working population in this country which is more than 90%. Everybody is a hard-working, he or she or any other gender. But yet, it is only 1% or 2% of the population in this country who are creaming off the wealth that is created by the collective labor of this country's population, the working population. Of course, we can boast more than 100 or 110 in the last count in the Forbes list of world's billionaires, that Indians are more than 110 in the Forbes list of billionaire population, dollar billionaires. What is it? What is it? I mean, we are fed day in and day out. The working population in this country are fed with lies, fed with without any basic necessities being provided. I don't think the 2007 census or the NCIUS survey, which said 836 million people of this country earn less than 20 rupees a day. Has there been any new census, a new light on that? Still, it is 20 rupees a day. Modi and Jaitley rushed to the trade union leaders on the September 1st night last year, when the trade unions of this country went on a fantastic 180 million strong strike on the September 2nd. Modi promised, as the Prime Minister, forget about his earlier promise, the promise of BJP led by Modi, when he said during the elections that he would bring back the black money to this country, and every Indian will have 15 lakh rupees in their bank accounts, automatic. And that one can understand or discount it or give a margin of 95% and say, look, it was just a election promise which nobody wants to keep. But here, on the September 1st of 2016, when he met the trade union leaders, or when he made the promise to the trade union leaders, he said the minimum wages in this country will be 15,000 rupees per month. Where is it? Where is the 15,000 rupees to the people? I mean, yesterday, when we were campaigning for rupees 100 an hour, which we have been doing for the last 2 years, yesterday I happened to receive a call from a women garment worker who works in Arvind Mills garment factory on Mysore Road. She called me. She said, sir, I have been working for 13 years in this factory. 13 years in this garment worker profession, and in this factory 7 years. And my wages, take-home wages, is 8,500 rupees. And I have 2 kids. And when she saw our leaflet of 100 rupees minimum wages, which she was, many of the workers were not allowed to take the leaflets into the factory. They were asked to throw the leaflets at the gate itself by the security staff, directed by the management of the Arvind textiles. But she somehow hid her leaflet into her the sari, the blouse, and then later in the evening she called us and she just poured over the anger that is built up. She said, we want some change in our lives. 8,500 is not even enough to have one meal a day in the family. People accuse socialists, the people who want to bring in progressive reforms to the lives of the working people, saying that you are daydreaming. What you demand of 100 rupees an hour is just an ivory tower demand. You cannot get it. How can the business survive if you are given 100 rupees? I remember in 2015 when we started, in May actually, we started the campaign. A jeweler by the name Nagaraj, who has 3 shops in Bangalore, one on the Avenue Road. He called me and challenged me, saying that, you provide me the job of 100 rupees an hour, I will close my shop and come and work for you. I was first taken aback by a jeweler asking me, and for a second I thought, are we asking too much? What is it? in a city or any town in India today where a meal, a decent meal, even on the streets cost somewhere between 60 to 80 rupees. The breakfast costs more than 30 to 40 rupees. I'm talking of a moderate breakfast, not in high-end restaurants or flashy hotels, but I'm talking about darshini restaurants, people who sell through kiosks. A half cup of coffee in any street, you cannot get it less than 6 rupees now. A bun costs 10 rupees. A loaf of bread is 35 rupees. What is it? And then you count the question of the rent, the question of the school fees, the question of medicine, the question of the clothes, everything. If you factor in everything, I mean, what you are getting today is nothing. I mean, it's not. That's why when the trade unions come up with demands such as 8, 10, 12,000 rupees, I mean, some of us activists who have the ear to the ground and who have the pulse of the ground, we feel incensed. How the hell, if our own representatives do not understand the real plight of the people, the real economic hardship that the people go through in this country, and come up with whimsical demands such as 8, 10, 12,000 rupees. I remind you that in 2012, when we, in our leaflet during the general strike, when we did a friendly criticism of the demand that the trade unions had put up at that time of 10,000, we criticized, look, wake up. If India is claiming to be a growing country, and it is claiming to have the growth rate of 8 to 9% along with China, and please demand our share, the share of the working people who have created the wealth of this country. I mean, even according to you, you also say that. But then we were attacked, physically attacked, by some of the thugs who belong to the trade unions of the left party in the country. Anyway, that's bygones are bygones. But today, after Modi promised 15,000, and then only the trade unions in this country upped their ante and said they are demanding 18,000. We welcome it. But more than that, the AICCTU, which is the trade union wing of the CPI-ML liberation, even before that, had said 21,000 is the correct, that's the minimum wage on which you can live. We are very happy about that. In fact, the actual problem of the working people in this country and the understanding, the perspectives of the leadership of the working people, the majority of the unions, such as the CITU and the AITUC and other unions, do not have the understanding. They do not have what it takes to be the leaders of the working class. Here I should comment. It's one thing to call Modi's government as a fascist government. We may have differences with the word use of fascism, at least fascistic methods that the RSS and the BJP and the Modi are using, not just right now, from I would say from 1992 itself, but now, it's one thing to ridicule Modi, make caricature of Modi and lampoon him, but to build a struggle, to seize the opportunities that are provided by the very contradictions that arise out of the situation is something different. Demonetization in this country provided that opportunity. Demonetization, the struggle around it, if it had been built by the leadership of the working people, that is now with the CPM and the CPI, the two parliamentary big parties, at least for the working class, things would have been different. Of course, just imagine if all those enraged youth, enraged working people standing in the queues of the ATMs to draw their own money with fear for being dubbed as thieves, while thieves go on holidays to London. The recent one is Chidambaram, who has gone to London to consult Malya and Lalit Modi as to how to evade the law. But the working people, the sweat and blood, who earn money through their sweat and blood, were made to feel fearsome. I mean, they had fear in their. I mean, few 500 rupee notes, few 1,000 rupee notes with them, which they had saved. They were very worried, and even today, I mean, Modi was not very off the mark. I mean, he said he wants to create a cashless economy, and he has been successful. He has small businesses particularly is fucked up now. They do not have the capital to run the business. I mean, that's the question. The CPM and the CPI, the left leaders in this country, instead of coattailing Mulayam Singh Yadav's, Akhilesh Yadav's, Rahul Gandhi's, different wings of the DMK, if they had put their stakes in and put their confidence in the capacity of the working people to rise up, and if they had given them the leadership during the time of the demonetization, instead of quoting Madame Antoinette to Modi, which Sitaram Yechuri did in one of his parliamentary speeches, if they had come and organized people, if they were doing the work that the general secretaries of the so-called communist parties should be doing, I think things would have been much different within the last 6 months. The left parties missed the bus again. Yet again, the left parties have missed the bus. And that's the problem. As a Trotskyist, I would quote Trotsky here. The crisis of the mankind can be reduced to the crisis of the leadership it has. And that's exactly the situation in this country. And it takes a new wave, a new party of the working people to come up, which will come up, eventually it will come up, and it will play the role of a revolutionary party. And that party, the embryo of that party, is what the new Socialist Alternative is trying to build in this country. I mean this, yes, there is intense competition for the jobs in this country, but that is not the problem of the youth. They have not created. It is the failure of the ruling parties, and more squarely, it is the failure of the leadership, the working people in this country, not to take into confidence of the working people and lead a struggle for change. And that's the problem. And New Socialist Alternative in the coming days and weeks would like to fill in with the help of the young people who are now beginning to flex their muscles. If those 25 lakh people in the Kolkata railway station who are competing for the 6,000 jobs, if the CITU and the AITUC, the DYFI, AIYF, if they were in those railway stations arguing about how to get jobs, how to make this the Mamata Banerjee's government to provide jobs, demand jobs of the Modi government, of the Mamata government, of the Congress government, then things would have been different. Because the communist parties in this country still think reformism, still think that there is a progressive role for the bourgeois to play in this country. And they think socialism is just a dream, very far off dream. It can only be a slogan But now it is a bourgeois democratic state, and yeah, that's why we have to search for the democratic progressive bourgeois, and that's the problem. And that is what we have to be explaining to the young people, and I think young people are realizing that today's young are different from the youth of my generation, of the 70s, of the 60s, or even of the 80s. Today, at the click of a button, they can know what is exactly the history, not the interpreted history, but the actual history. And that's the difference now. The youth who are well versed with the technology, and they can see through things, and they will build a new leadership which is required, which is worthy of the working people in this country, and that way pave way for a change, for a socialist change that can change the face of the world. If India becomes a revolutionary socialist state, then the world is not going to be the same. The entire world, they will be igniting a series of revolutions around the world, and I'm sure, and such a what you call series, a revolutionary permanence will come to the world, and victory to the socialism will be on the cards. Thank you.